Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily News. I'm Nicholas Richardson. Product prices are gliding upwards along with energy prices in Poland. However, the price of butter has become somewhat of a joke. Wrapped in gold paper, it can quietly pretend to be a gold bar. So high is the price. And there is another addition to the list of failing companies. Opposition politicians are hiding butter in safes, and the government is reassuring that this is a good sign for farmers. What's going on? And is there any idea to tackle these high prices?
It's getting more expensive in the stores. Butter has become a real determinant of high prices. A cube of butter already costs more than 10 zloty. Meanwhile, politicians are outdoing themselves in explaining to us why and where this overpricing comes from. Is there a way to combat the rising prices? What kind of valuable item is being stored in this safe? Ladies and gentlemen, a cube of butter. This is butter for 10 zloty. Butter in a safe would be funny if it weren't terrifying. Unfortunately, it's a grim symbol of this government. High grocery prices, high bills, people forced into usurious loans, and they've only been in power a year. Tusk is back, and with him comes poverty. Will the greatest disgrace of the Third Republic of Poland, hungry children, return? Butter has become a symbol of today's high prices. Politicians are bending over backwards to explain why butter costs as much as 10 zloty. 10 zloty for a cube of butter. This is what the president of the National Bank of Poland, Adam Glapiński, has led to. I will not allow this. After thinking about it, those in power come to the conclusion that it's a good thing that prices in stores are rising. This price is due to the price of milk, and with greater popularity of butter, there is a return to traditional products like butter or full-fat milk. This is a good situation because I am happy whenever Polish agriculture prospers. So Trzaskowski was wrong? I think that in this area exactly this direction is not correct. Twisted logic? That's not all, as Donald Tusk's government ministers assure, although they now control the government. If Rafał Trzaskowski wins the presidency, only then will the price of butter drop. If Trzaskowski wins, will butter be at 5 zloty? Yes or no? I think so. But the people see it all. People are certainly complaining. You can see that it's more expensive than before. Everything is getting more expensive. Adding to the high prices in stores is the specter of an extremely expensive winter by way of soaring energy prices. Those same energy prices also cause higher inflation and are the reason for the closure of many Polish companies. The now bankrupt 160-year-old Polish porcelain factory Karolina must be added to our map of layoffs. It employed 180 people. Unfortunately, we are seeing price hikes in our most direct and most important expenses. It is especially painful for people for whom electricity and food expenses take up a big chunk of their income. Law and Justice announced a bill designed to block energy price increases. It is to include a provision for a maximum price for individual consumers of 420 zloty per megawatt hour. The bill approved by the government says the price of electricity for households will remain at 500 zloty per megawatt hour until the end of September. This excludes companies. Due to the fact that the new government is failing to manage the country and the Polish economy, a very large number of private companies are already starting to plan group layoffs. Today, such group layoffs are announced at the level of 20,000 people in Poland in more than 161 plants. And it is the rising cost of doing business that is the main reason companies are closing and moving out of Poland.
US investigators have arrested the alleged killer of the chief executive officer of the insurance company United Healthcare. The perpetrator is said to be a 26-year-old Luigi Mangione, Ivy League graduate with a promising career in IT. The man was arrested after a nationwide manhunt in which he unexpectedly became an internet celebrity. This case was shrouded in mystery from the beginning. There were rumours of a professional hitman or even a paid execution, and for good reason. The chief executive officer of one of the largest insurance companies in the United States was killed in the early morning hours outside a hotel in the most crowded part of New York City.
This does not appear to be a random act of violence. The victim was in New York City to speak at an investor conference. It appears the suspect was lying in wait for several minutes. And as the victim was walking to the conference hotel, the suspect approached from behind and fired several rounds, striking the victim at least once in the back and at least once in the right calf.
Analysis of the surveillance video showed that during the execution, the gun with a silencer jammed, but the shooter did not hesitate to disassemble it, remove the casing, and continue firing. In the end, those 2 shots were fatal. After the attack, the killer took off on a scooter towards Central Park.
The masked gunman who fatally shot the chief executive of United Healthcare on a Manhattan sidewalk Wednesday used ammunition emblazoned with the words, "Deny, defend, and depose." That's according to law enforcement officials, who also told the AP that the shooter used a silencer on his gun. A motive in the killing has not yet been identified, but the words may refer to a strategy used by insurance companies to deny coverage to patients.
This has sparked intense public interest, not so much in the murder, but in the killer himself. Police officials insisted from the beginning that the attack was well planned and thought out, but it soon became clear that it was an amateur, one who made a critical mistake.
Most of the time while he was in New York City, the suspected shooter had a face mask on. The one image that we've seen of this person, he lowers the face mask, but otherwise, even when he was having meals, he would keep the face mask on except to lower it to take a bite. And now police suspect that he has left New York City on a bus sometime in the hour after the shooting on December 4th.
This photo circulated around the country. The killer's image was shown on every television station from Washington to San Francisco. The next day, police officers received a call from an employee of a Pennsylvania restaurant. He told them he had just served the man in the photo on television.
He didn't even think twice about it. We knew that was our guy, but he was very cooperative with us. Didn't really give us too many issues.
The suspect's compliance was no accident. He had with him all the evidence to suggest that he was behind the crime.
Was carrying multiple fraudulent IDs as well as a U.S. passport. Upon further investigation, officers recovered a firearm on his person as well as a suppressor, both consistent with the weapon used in the murder. They also recovered clothing, including a mask consistent with those worn by our wanted individual. Also recovered was a fraudulent New Jersey ID, matching the ID our suspect used to check into his New York City hostel before the shooting incident.
The 26-year-old had graduated from one of the country's most prestigious universities. An avid surfer, he was also an IT professional. What made him commit such a crime? The turning point was supposed to be a surfing accident and a clash with the healthcare and insurance system. From the manifesto that the police allegedly found on him, it seems that he saw this murder as a form of protest. Luigi is awaiting extradition to New York, where he faces life in prison for premeditated murder. Syria has a new prime minister. The interim government was headed by rebel representative Mohammed al-Bashar, who is expected to lead the government until the 1st of March next year. After the unexpected and surprising escape of Russia... Sorry, my mistake to Russia. Do apologise. Sorry.
Go.
Syria has a new prime minister. The interim government was headed by rebel representative Mohammed al-Bashar, who is expected to lead the government until March the 1st next year. After the unexpected and surprising escape to Russia of dictator Bashar al-Assad, a struggle for influence among rebel groups, but also a rivalry among world powers, is beginning.
The fiesta of freedom is still going on in the streets of Syrian cities. People can't believe that it only took a dozen days for the brutal regime to collapse like a house of cards. We are all happy, even the air is different. I hope that security will return to Syria and we will be able to live normally again, because we Syrians deserve a better life. However, every day reveals more black pages of the Assad regime's brutal history. Like here, where people are searching for hidden cells to find their loved ones, who were often imprisoned for years. Where is everyone? Where are our loved ones? Where are they? My heart is in pieces because of my brother. I have been looking for him for 13 years. Where is he? He was 30 years old when they took him away. Cleaning up Syria will take many years. The devastation from the 13-year civil war is enormous. But the worst part is that the dictator's escape does not necessarily mean the end of the fighting. Defeating Bashar al-Assad was the common goal of the opposition troops. Now the goal may be to fight each other. And this is the perfect environment for extremists to grow in popularity. This is the scenario the Americans are warning against.
History shows how quickly moments of promise can descend into conflict and violence. ISIS will try to use this period to reestablish its capabilities, to create safe havens. As our precision strikes over the weekend demonstrate, we are determined not to let that happen.
The Americans have already carried out at least 75 airstrikes against Islamist targets in central Syria since Saturday. Syria's weakness is being exploited by Israel. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced the army's seizure of the Golan Heights, adding that the area will remain a part of Israel forever. We are taking all necessary measures to try to ensure our security in view of the new situation being created in Syria. These words are immediately followed by actions. Last night, Israel's Air Force destroyed an Assad army base in the northeastern part of the country. We went outside as soon as we heard a bang and saw the glow of fire. Then we realized that it was Israel that carried out the attack. We didn't have a break from Turkey before, and now Israel has come along. The scale of the destruction could be seen in the morning. Such pictures are discouraging to those who have waited long years for Assad's fall. Millions of Syrian refugees are wondering whether to return to their country. Father Valdemar Chiswo has been helping those in need in the Middle East for years. In his opinion, there is still a long way to go before the migration crisis is over. I don't think they will come back quickly. On the one hand, they will fear which way the situation will go and will most likely take long. And on the other hand, it is easier to earn a modest living somewhere in Lebanon or Jordan than in Syria. That's why remembrance and support are so needed, especially now. The Przyjaciel Misji Foundation encourages the purchase of Middle Eastern products, which can be found on the association's website. Proceeds from the sales will go to Christian families living in the Middle East.
Soon, the stars of cinema will shine in full glory. The nominees for the Golden Globes, the most important film awards after the Oscars, have just been announced. It's a constellation of well-known names, so the competition will be fierce. Who is the top favourite? Overseas, the time is beginning when the movie stars shine in full glory. The film awards season has officially begun. In March, the winners of the Oscars will be announced, and last night we heard the names of those who will compete for the Golden Globes.
Gary Oldman, Slow Horses.
These stars need no introduction to anyone. Angelina Jolie, Adrian Brody, Timothy Chalamet, Denzel Washington, and one could go on and on. Demi Moore, Kate Winslet or Pamela Anderson, for whom this is her first nomination. All of them have a chance for gold statuettes.
Go outside and go for a nice long walk with a big smile on my face. So it was great. It was really...
It's breathtaking. When you see sand here, imagine water.
Dune Part 2, The Brutalist or Nickel Boys were the hits of the ending year and the favourites for the statuette for Best Drama. The film Emilia Perez won as many as 10 nominations, including for Best Comedy or Musical. But here the competition is really strong.
I love my husband.
Anora is also nominated in the category of Best Director and Screenplay. The musical Wicked, based on the original Wizard of Oz, received 4 nominations for the Golden Globe Awards.
Probably going to be a little nerdy and watch it all and, text Zoe and everyone.
What?
Competition is fierce and everyone dreams of a golden trophy. The Golden Globes is one of the most important awards in the world, probably the most important after the Oscars, but at the same time, it is a prelude to the Oscars. It is said that films do well at the Golden Globes are favourites for the Oscars.
Hail, full of grace.
We also have good news for Poles living in the United States. The day after tomorrow, Michal Kondrat's film, I Am the Immaculate Conception, showing Mary's extraordinary role in God's plan for the salvation of the world, enters thousands of cinemas in all states. We have very good reviews about our film from the United States. It is recognized as a high-quality film. It is very popular. And I also cordially invite the Polish community to participate in the screenings of this film, which begin on the 12th of December. The Polish accent at the Golden Globes is a co-production with Denmark. The film, The Girl with the Needle, directed by Magnus von Horn in the Best Foreign Language Film category. Sean Baker and Brady Coburn, among others, will compete for the title of Best Director. For now, movie stars have great reasons to rejoice. The real winners will be announced on January the 6th at a ceremony in Los Angeles. 2 months later, the most coveted awards, the Oscars, will be handed out in the capital of cinema. That's the news. Thank you for watching. From me, have a good night and a better tomorrow.